Welcome to The W. Today, we will be talking with the talented and inspiring filmmaker Jimmy Keyrouz from his home in Beirut, Lebanon, about his multi-award-winning film, Nocturne in Black. Welcome, writer and director Jimmy Keyrouz.
Thanks for having me on your show. I'm really honored, and it's really a pleasure to be here.
Well, Jimmy, the film seems so timely, with our world always in flux. Tell us a little bit about what originally inspired you to write the story.
Well, it all started in 2014, and I was in New York, still a student at Columbia, and I had to write something for my thesis film. And back then, the war in Syria was raging, and ISIS was gaining ground. And when I heard that music was banned, I was really shocked, and for me it was inconceivable that something as beautiful as music could be banned. So this is where it all started. This is where the idea came from, and then I started doing some research, of course, and I then stumbled across an article that said, in Syria, in a camp in Syria, a pianist conjures hope. And I love the word conjures because it's easy to say something bad or cynical about the word, but it's harder to find something positive even in a world that is so dark and filled with darkness. And that's how the idea came. So I started writing a script, and then it was my graduating project at Columbia.
And Jimmy, the title, Nocturne in Black, it's such a striking title. Tell us about the significance of that.
Yeah, Nocturne is because, nocturnes are musical compositions, and they're kind of evocative of the night. I mean, our story takes place in a world where daily activities such as smoking tobacco, modern dressing, or music have been banned. And the only time you could do those things was at night. That's why I chose Nocturne and black, because I guess it's the color of oppression, at least in that part of the world.
In the film, Karim's character expands and unfolds, during the story. Ultimately, how did you decide on the creative arc of Karim's story? And it ends in the final scene with the ultimate act of defiance and protest. How did that come to be?
I mean, what Karim really wants is what I think most young people want, is just to have a good life and a career and pursue his passion. So that's what he really wants. And a guy like Karim, being a pianist and being a young man trapped into this world with so much rules and things that are forbidden, I mean, Karim needs to escape. I strongly believe that when the body is trapped somewhere, the mind can still go away. So Karim kind of needs to have a voice. He needs to send a message of hope and, remind people by playing piano that there are still beautiful things in life worth fighting for, and music is one of them. I kind of wanted the film to end on an act of resistance and defiance, and him kind of saying you don't get to tell us what we do.
Well, on the topic of the importance of art, your dean of faculty at Columbia, Carol Becker, said this about your film. We express ourselves in language, imagery, and movement. That's what we do. That's the species we are. If you tell people they can't do that, then you are actually telling them they cannot be human. I think that's an amazing quote, and I'm just wondering, how do you view the importance of art and artists, especially during difficult times?
First, I couldn't agree more with Dean Becker. I mean, it's really well said. One scene that inspired me was in Shawshank Redemption, and one of the main character, just played the music in the prison, and I remember the lines of the character Red, played by Morgan Freeman, and he said I don't know what these two Italian ladies were singing about, but for a moment everyone in Shawshank felt free. Art is crucial for healing, but for connecting people and keeping them positive and dreaming and hopeful and strong when facing challenges.
How does the film and the main character Karim inform our current situation with this pandemic?
Well, first, I mean, in this confinement or lockdown, I mean, right now it imposes limitations on us, and we're told that we can't go out, and we're told that we have to stay at home, and we can't work, and we can't do that, and we have to wear a mask. And millions of people and hundreds of millions of people like Karim were kind of like always trapped and confined and in their own lockdown in a way, because when you can't play music, when you can't smoke, when you can't dress the way you want, when you can't have the career you want, I mean, that must be a permanent lockdown for such people. And I mean, right now we're facing a challenge, and everyone is facing that challenge. You just have to remember that some people always face some kind of lockdown. But second, and most importantly, what Karim is trying to do is to remind people that there are still beautiful things in life worth fighting for, and music is one of them. And he's trying also to remind people, and that's a saying that I love by Vivian Green, that life is not about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain. And maybe after this pandemic, because it will pass soon, I hope, maybe we will think differently about what to do with our time and how to best use our time.
Well, that's hopeful encouragement, Jimmy. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Have a wonderful day. And I want to thank the whole Windrider community for the opportunity to talk to you on this show.
Thank you, Jimmy. And friends, check out our exploration guide if you want to take a deeper dive into this windy conversation. I'm John Priddy, and we look forward to seeing you next time on The W.